the time dragon clock. The melting occurred at the 13th hour. The direct result of a bucket of water thrown by a female child.
She didn't respect the balance. She's stealing more and more time from me, completely without consideration to the consequences. She's a selfish bitch.
Would you like to stop?
I don't know what kind of fucked up family shit is going on here, but Yvonne and I are married, okay? This is a real marriage, and I'm not getting a divorce.
I'm happy to finally meet you, cousin.
Cousin? Is that right? Well, you wouldn't be the first relative I've killed.
May thy knife chip and shatter.
May thy knife chip and shatter.
I let you down.
I'm okay.
Yeah, I let you down.
No.
A journalist. Cultural.
Foreign affairs.
Well, perhaps you can help your husband sound less like he shines shoes for a wage.
Haven't you told them anything about me?
Laszlo, how long have you been here now? 4, 5 years? You have no excuse anymore. I'm sorry, I got a little carried away there. Will you please pass that back?
Don't let them kill.
O que vocês querem? Cadê meu marido? Vai embora! Sai daqui, vai embora! Sai!
Although we sisters are supposed to be invisible, God has nevertheless given us eyes and ears.
Listeners,
welcome back to the show.
Welcome back to the show.
Very special episode. I always look forward to this one.
Every year.
You got a little bonus episode.
Yes, indeed.
You're getting 2 this week, actually.
2 regular feed episodes in 1 week. How about that? Listeners, I hope you're ready. My name's Pete.
And I'm Scott, and these are the movies that made us gay. Oscar special. Mm-hmm. Well, we have to get into it because we have 2 people joining us today. Both of our guests have done separate Oscar episodes. Harper Thomson and Joshua Clement.
Hello.
On together. We are joining forces for our Oscar episode.
Just one big nerd joining.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
Welcome back, both of you.
I think that out of all of the people in my friend groups, people that I follow on social media, I do think that you two are, I would say, Oscar experts, along with me. Harper and Joshua, I think that you see almost everything. Josh, especially you, because you voted in SAG this year. So you, I think, had to watch everything.
Yeah, performance-wise, but I know, like, Harper, and it's like, once you go to those deeper categories, then you really have to do, work, documentary, all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I always try to go see those, the shorts, the short compositions that are playing at the Lemley or the Landmark or whatever. Yeah, I only caught documentary this year, but we'll get into it. Yeah,
all of the Oscar animated shorts were at really weird times this year. Like, can you just put one at 7 p.m. at the Alamo? Can we just get like a main evening show? But no, it's either at 2 in the afternoon or 10 p.m. at night.
Yeah, very
odd. That's 4 p.m. at the Lemley Royal on Santa Monica. The only way.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But I'm so excited to get into everything. We have a big show planned that we're going through all of the main categories. And for the first time, we're doing our own little award show. Ooh. So I thought all this week of something to call them. I haven't really settled on anything.
I know we didn't settle on anything for our,
I don't even know what these people are getting.
They're getting our adoration and our applause.
You can put all of these awards onto IMDb. I found this out recently. If you do your own awards, we got to name them, but then you can put them on IMDb, and then that'll be there forever.
How did you, Drew, call us? Mud?
Mud?
What is MTMUG?
Empty mug.
Mug.
Empty mug.
Empty mug.
Empty and then mug.
Empty mugs.
Yeah.
Empty mug?
Yeah.
So they're going to be getting a coffee cup. That is going to be the...
We'll get an empty mug full of their praise.
Mm-hmm.
The empty muggers.
I like it.
Very prestigious. All right, well, let's get the show off. I thought that we might do these as we were going through the nominees, but I think that it does warrant its own little section at the top of the show. That I think that we're going to talk about the snubs. I think this year there wasn't any major snubs. Definitely Oscar morning. I wasn't really shocked by a lot of them. Harper is wearing a Challenger's hat. So I think that's one of the major snubs, especially in score. I think that maybe score was its own... That was kind of its own real big shot, and it didn't get in.
Yeah, I feel like with score, like all award season, I think this is actually a really incredible year for scores.
Yeah.
I just have been listening to most of them because they're all so good. But yeah, I kept saying like, oh man, like the Brutalist score is really good, but too bad Challengers is definitely going to win the Oscar, you know? And like, it doesn't stand a chance. And then suddenly Challengers wasn't nominated, and I just like, I couldn't, like, I still can't even understand not nominating it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
And don't you feel like it's always our ingrained expectations that, get us, whether we're expecting something like that to happen or even Challengers in editing, it's like you usually think they want to go for the flashiest thing, and sometimes they'll just surprise you and don't.
And Trent Reznor has won Oscars before, so I would take it that he's a category favorite, that people know who he is. And I think that for people like us this past year, Challengers was kind of everywhere in our social media feed, that I do have to kind of step back and think maybe that wasn't the case with everybody. That maybe everybody else wasn't as obsessed with that stupid movie as we were.
Right. And that thing of the early movies, right, of the year that sometimes don't follow through.
And that was a writer's strike push, so that was supposed to be September of last year.
Right. May have been a different story.
But yeah, it's interesting when I go back. I tried to find on Gold Derby what my picks were earlier in the year, especially the late summer. And I was completely off with who I thought was going to lead the category. I think that I had Saoirse Ronan for Blitz winning Best Actress. Blitz, a movie that I think reads really good on paper.
Right.
And then just nobody cared about it. It's just one of those weird Apple release movies.
Yeah, these Apple movies. I feel like Blitz, I didn't even catch Blitz because it came and went so quickly, and I think it was very limited in theaters. It was just on Apple.
Right.
Yeah.
But also stuff like The Piano Lesson that I thought would do better, and I think that once Netflix had all of their eggs in the Emilia Perez basket, that they just kind of forgot The Piano Lesson exists. I mean, early in the season, I thought for sure Danielle Deadwilder would get sort of the makeup nomination in supporting. I had her winning. I also had Sam Jackson winning in supporting as well, which it makes sense on paper. I haven't seen The Piano Lesson, so I don't know if that's a role that really warrants it.
Yeah, people who had seen the stage thing kind of thought it was going to be more of a thing than it was. But, I mean, I think it was, logical for us to kind of expect that the third August Wilson that had also resulted in acting noms, and wins with Fences would maybe, appear here.
Nepo baby director, right?
Yeah.
Denzel Washington's son?
One of his sons. Yeah.
One of his sons,
John David Washington is in it?
Is in it. Yeah.
He's in it. Yeah, I think maybe, and I did not watch it, and perhaps other people didn't watch it for the same reason, because I was burned by Malcolm and Marie, which was also a Netflix release with John David Washington. Yeah. I did not love that movie.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that was the great experiment, though, of can we do this COVID lockdown?
Yeah. It would have been cool if it would have worked.
Yeah. But unfortunately, it turned out to be something that not a lot of people really rallied behind, even though we love both of them. I mean, come on.
Yeah. It was an odd time. And
it was a weird time.
Zendaya probably still ran 6th or 7th. Yeah.
Another movie that I was remembering before we hopped on the call that has just vanished from all of our brains, but do you three remember when Joker 2, Folie à Deux, did have Oscar buzz? That Lady Gaga was number one in supporting for most of the summer.
Yes.
Wow. You know what? Can I say I did not hate that movie as much as everyone else did?
I need to see it.
I didn't.
Well,
see it.
I've also heard that if you didn't like the first movie, that you might like the second one.
Yes. Okay. My relationship, real quickly, I did not love Joker, but
Same.
Joker 2 fully ado. It is, to me, very similar to the movie 9. I don't know if you guys saw 9 with Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, I was there opening day.
Yep.
Great. I love that movie so much. I know that it's not a perfect movie, but I love it, and I'm obsessed with like kind of this weird like stage thing. Anyway, but so for me, Folie à Deux reminded me so much of 9 that I was like fully locked in the whole time. Yeah, I didn't hate it.
I think people also thought they were going to get this Lady Gaga, Patrizia type of press tour again, and excited for that and what she was going to do. And then when things didn't pan out, it was just wah-wah.
Yeah, true.
I think that Best Actress probably, surprise, surprise, was the most stacked, isn't it, every single year? But I think this year in particular, that I think that there were a lot of actresses jockeying for those 3rd through 5th spots. So kind of somebody that came close, I had to kind of have a moment with myself, I think that you did too, that we had to let go of Nicole Kidman.
Right.
It was a sad day on Gold Derby when I checked her out of the top 5 predictions. But I think that she's really good. I think that she's really good in Baby Girl.
No.
I would say it's going to be probably written as probably one of the bigger snubs within the past 10 years. Of like when people are writing about this Oscar year in general. I could see that one coming up as the one that got away.
Right. And I feel like, you had such a deep bench, right? Of like probably 10 you could fill. But even you go back to someone who won the trifecta, like Marianne Jean-Baptiste, the LA, New York National Society of Film Critics. And I think they said the last person who won all that and didn't get one was Happy Go Lucky, Shape of Water.
Sally Hawkins.
Sally Hawkins.
Sally Hawkins.
For Happy Go Lucky then.
For Happy Go Lucky, I believe, And still missing. But you had all those people right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I gotta say for me, no surprise, but Zendaya, like, I think for her performance in Challengers, she really, anchored that whole movie, I feel like. And then also Dune Part 2, maybe that would have been a supporting for her, but, she's so great in both of those movies. She really, served so much this year. I don't know. I love her.
She showed she was a star.
I know she's young and she has time and she'll get it later, but I just think she should have been recognized for her work this year.
Yeah.
If you would have asked me a few months ago, I would have said for sure Angelina Jolie is going to make it in, if not win. But I feel like Maria was not as liked as both Spencer and Jackie, though. Yeah,
I think that of the 3, Spencer is the best of the trilogy, if you were going to call it that. Okay. Spencer is the best, but did you guys watch Maria?
I did. Yeah.
I didn't see it yet.
I actually liked it.
She was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, Spencer's pretty cuckoo on its own. It has some
Spencer is cuckoo.
Crazy moments.
This is not as cuckoo.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more.
No, it's not.
It's more of kind of the straightforward biopic. Right.
It's very Pablo Larraín. He likes to do just a slice of a sad, beautiful woman's life, just a slice of it. And he does that exactly. I mean, I just think that Spencer is fun because it's a little bit more speculative in that it has that whole thing with the necklace that she's pulling off and all of that stuff. That's what's real, and Maria has a bit of that too. Yeah. But I think it's a really gorgeous looking movie for
Beautiful.
Sure.
Yeah. I really enjoyed Angie and Cynthia Erivo's actor on actresses. I thought that was one of my favorites of this past season of all of that.
That was fun.
That Variety does. I would have been curious of if The Last Showgirl, where both of those performances landed. Mm-hmm. I kind of saw them as a package deal, and I think that in my predictions I did put both of them making it in. Partly because I think it would be really cool if Pam Anderson just had an Oscar nomination.
Fuck yeah.
But I think that it was probably just outside of that top 6.
Yeah. And one of those interesting situations where you have the veteran coming off the win with Jamie Lee and where
a little Halo nomination action, yeah.
And with Pam, it's what an incredible story comeback role, but where you can see the Academy going, we're going to make you earn your stripes a little longer. We'll give you for your first big,
But really, does Pam have another movie like this in her?
Not
Not that she doesn't, but does the industry have something
Hmm.
else
Right.
for Pam to come out and do this again?
I hope so.
It would be great, but I feel like this might just be like this. Wow, what a moment! And then I don't know.
She's got some interesting things in the pipeline.
Does
so,
she? Okay,
yeah.
good for her then. All
Kind
right.
of rounding out my other snubs for Best Actress, Tilda Swinton for The Room Next Door. I enjoyed The Room Next Door, but I can kind of see how it left some people cold. That it is kind of weird to see Pedro dialogue in English. I think that when you hear those lines in Spanish, I think that it's just you just kind of give yourself into seeing this foreign movie or like an international movie by Pedro, but it's kind of weird seeing the dialogue with those two actresses in that movie. But yeah, what did you think of The Room Next Door?
I did not catch that one.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
I don't think a lot of people did. It didn't really
Yeah.
have a big release in LA too.
Yeah, it was interesting. And then, talking in rooms about death, you really have to have the spark.
Yeah.
Talking in rooms.
Talking in rooms about death sounds like a movie that should be going to Sundance.
Probably.
Absolutely.
And then I mentioned before, I thought for sure I put it on my Vulture Fantasy League. I put both Blitz and The Outrun. They both missed.
Saoirse with that BAFTA nom. Yeah, she was in the mix.
I love how surprised. Was it the Irish
Film Awards?
The Irish Film Awards. I thought her acceptance
Yeah.
speech was really cute.
She's
'Cause you can
cute.
tell that.
Yeah, that was nice.
She's kind of shocked. She was very shocked that she won that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best actor. I think that it was a pretty limited year of the types of performances I think that you could have written in. A few of the snubs that I think of actors that got close: Daniel Craig for Queer,
Yep.
Hugh Grant for Heretic. Is it Heretic or Heretic? I think it's Heretic, right?
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Heretic.
And then I have Paul Mescal for Gladiator 2.
Your
I
boy.
would be willing to bet that he ran pretty far
Scott
in that Best Actor race. But I was pulling for him.
Scott saying that because he's his boy is like me saying Andrew Garfield for We Live in Time because he's my boy.
Okay.
But I mean, I feel like, especially Daniel Craig with that surprising SAG nom over Sebastian, who got the Oscar nom, I feel like that was fighting for 5.
Yeah, it was that Sebastian nomination that probably kicked Daniel Craig out.
Scott, let me say this. Our Gladiator 2 episode didn't do that great in the ratings. I don't know what's going on there. But I mean, interestingly enough, yeah, it's just it's getting beat. Not to say that I didn't enjoy the film and Paul.
I'll try not to curse anything again.
I would say the most vocal snub was probably in Best Director for Denis.
Where's Denis?
Which I saw that coming, but I think a lot of people were disappointed to see him left off.
For it to happen again.
Yeah.
One of the many reasons I feel like Denis is very similar to Barbra Streisand, and that continue to snubbed for the Best Director noms. How does that work?
Shameful.
Also, what was that?
Oh no, I was just gonna say I feel like they gave it to like Coralie Farge for the Substance. They were like, well, we can't give it to another weirdo, like we have to like just keep it with the normal directors. So
yeah,
Dune's too weird.
I think it's kind of shocking Edward Berger missed that nomination too. Just kind of seeing how well Conclave did, and especially that it's kind of a wild card favorite to win Best Picture, that it's kind of surprising that he didn't get that.
Right, and although even for All Quiet, I think what did he get in screenplay or something, but not getting in then as well, and despite the popularity of the movie, him not being able to follow up with Conclave nom. Yeah.
Speaking of Conclave, were either of you two shocked that there was a women talking situation in supporting actor where both of them canceled each other out?
Oh,
for
Tucci
and Lithgow?
Oh.
Yeah.
Who do you think of
That
the two
is
got the
interesting.
closest?
Tucci,
because of that scene where he's like, it's basically the Johnny Cochran, in OJ Ryan Murphy series where he's like, choose a side. I think Tucci.
Okay. John Lithgow was very good, though.
Yeah,
I
think that John Lithgow would probably get my vote if I had to pick somebody from
Deliciously
Conclave.
Evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was an interesting nomination year that I think that everybody went into the season expecting something like Gladiator 2 to do really well at Oscar, but it just got that one costume nomination.
I just cannot believe that Denzel Washington was not nominated. I'm sorry, but okay, sure, Gladiator 2, maybe not the greatest movie of all time, but Denzel Washington was doing 500% at every moment in that movie, and it was just so delicious. It was so good. I loved it so much.
Yeah, I feel like he rode that train until the SAG noms, and then we're like, this train has crashed.
Departed.
Yeah. I will say I do think it's a pretty stacked supporting actor category this year. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We've discussed about the release of Sing Sing. That I think that was a movie that everybody assumed was a lead for, actor, supporting actor, picture, director, and it just kind of, it just got the one nomination in...
Well, screenplay and Coleman.
In Coleman, yeah. Mm-hmm. So the two nominations. What happened?
Well, like you say, it was the release. Don't you think, Harper? It sat there August, September, kind of in a nice position, and then
I think if it came out in December, maybe if it was fresher for people, that could have pushed it. But I also feel like I don't know. Well, I don't understand putting it in adapted screenplay personally, because I feel like that movie is not super written. And I went to a Q&A where they talked about this, and it was pretty loose, right? They had a structure that they were going for, and they had they obviously wrote it, but it was a little loose. And you can tell at times that there was a little bit of improv happening, or they were, trying to figure out exactly where they were going with it. And so to me, I do think that Sing Sing is accomplished in certain areas, but I don't know that screenplay is where I would put it.
Right.
Yeah.
I also think, didn't that have a TIFF 2023 premiere?
Oh.
Right, because it was Coleman choose. Oh. They were like, Coleman could choose between, he could be nominated for either of these, but then they held Sing Sing.
Which
with Rustin, sorry.
Is interesting, because I do think that it would have been more successful on a 2023 release.
Right.
I think that Coleman definitely gets that nomination. He gets it over Rustin, but I think that it's probably more talked about in stuff like Best Picture and Best Director.
Right. And then how odd if Rustin had ended up in this year where that kind of civil rights figure is next to Donald Trump.
Right.
So that would have been weird.
Do we have any last thoughts about snubs? Those were kind of the major ones that I was thinking about.
Yeah, Clarence Macklin there and supporting actor for Sing Sing. And you said it already. Jamie Lee Curtis was close, and Monica Barbaro, who I loved, was a nice kind of person who got in.
Yeah,
but probably was we thought was seventh, but wasn't.
We'll talk a little bit about her later. So let's keep things moving. Let's go to the main categories and kind of go through projected winner and maybe our personal favorite. So let's start in Best Actor for Adrien Brody for The Brutalist, Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo Sing Sing, Ralph Fiennes Conclave, and Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice. So I would say this is an interesting category because I feel like Adrien Brody was sort of leading this category until about a month ago, and then Timothée Chalamet is kind of becoming this favorite to win. So I kind of think Timothée Chalamet is going to win the Oscar.
Can I ask you a question up top, since we're starting to get into the real categories here? Well, first of all, in snubs, we do have to get a little justice for one Glenn Powell and Twisters. Oh, how was that left off?
Oh, yeah.
But, okay, how do we all three of you feel about Gold Derby and their odds? Do we follow that? Are you just like, it's one thing? Does it ring true usually?
I do have questions about them sometimes.
I looked it up today, and so I'll tell you what they, 3 hours ago, as of 3 hours ago, who they said will win Best Actor and who they said should win. But what are our thoughts on that?
I feel okay about Gold Derby. I feel like they're fair. They get it pretty close often. And I also just want to say shout out because I used to work with the people of Gold Derby. So shout out. Yeah.
I love Gold Derby. I think you and I are definitely religious followers as well. I think the one thing, you do have to be your own mind, with your predictions.
Yeah.
It's not always helpful to follow, top 24 or the experts. And I think, a good example of this is the Olivia Colman year or something like that where no one got it right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I even think back in for the 2019 year that I think that a majority of people had 1917 winning Best Picture and kind of sweeping the categories altogether. So yeah,
even the Brendan Austin Butler split would have kind of messed you up a bit if you didn't kind of just follow the emotion and SAG and
So I'm assuming that Adrian Brody is probably still leading it at least with the odds.
He's still at will win, and Timothy is at could win.
Right.
And Adrian won the BAFTA.
He's won everything except the SAG.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like the odds are in his favor.
Is the current youngest Best Actor winner, and if Timmy wins, he will be the newest current reigning youngest.
Look at you, Pete.
Best Actor winner.
Very good.
Because Timmy's not quite 30 yet, right? He's still 29.
He would beat Adrian Brody's record by months.
Yeah. Because Adrian was 30.
He was 29 when he won.
He was 29.
But deeper into 29.
Got it. Yeah. Wow. I feel like Timothée Chalamet has been 29 for 5 years.
I feel like that
will he reach 30?
I feel like he's been 23 for 5 years.
Okay, that also.
I see him as early 20s.
Playing that Lady Bird college. Yeah.
Well, I think this year we saw the meme of 29-year-old man in the 90s, and it is George Costanza.
Oh,
and
right.
29-year-old man in 2024. And it's Timothée Chalamet.
When Seinfeld begins.
And so I've been seeing that meme a lot for the past few months, but I think,
That's amazing.
Anyway.
But I would say my personal vote in this category, this is a hard one.
It's tough.
This is a really tough one. I think my personal vote is probably Ralph Fiennes.
So good.
That's what I was going to say,
I was going to say, that's probably who
Rafe.
I'm putting down. I sadly don't think that he's going to win. But what do you two think? Who do you think is going to be the one that actually wins the category?
Timmy. I think it's going to be Timmy, personally. I don't know.
I think it's going to be Adrian.
I think it's going to be Timothy as well. Yeah.
Why do you think Adrian?
I don't know. I agree with you guys about that late surge that results in the SAG win. But yeah, SAG having no effect, I just think there's something... They just resist. Maybe I'm stuck in that old mindset of what the Academy resists with young men. They love to make them wait. But you know what? Maybe you are right, and Timmy is the Adrian.
But wasn't Academy voting closed by the time SAG Awards happened?
It was.
Yeah.
So this wouldn't really have any effect on the win.
But you know what? Don't underestimate the power of a complete unknown, because Boomer votes lost their goddamn minds for that movie.
Our parents
loved that movie.
And the big, not complaint, but I feel like the one hitch in a complete unknown is that a lot of people are like, it's your standard biopic. It's very by the numbers, how you do it. And I can really appreciate something like Jackie and Spencer in that they are that moment in time for wacky ladies, and I love that idea, and I feel like that could have been done for someone like Bob Dylan, and I feel like it could have been done for the Michael Jackson movie. Give us this moment in time, this slice of their life, and how cool that would be. But I think this movie, A Complete Unknown, a lot of people are like, yeah, well, it's kind of your basic, quote unquote, biopic, but that's what the voters are really looking for, and that's what the boomers who are all about. Because my thing was, when that first got announced, I'm like, yeah, you know what the Gen Z Timmy Chalamet fans are clamoring for? The Bob Dylan movie. Yeah. What? So weird.
Yeah.
But here we are.
I mean, I feel like he should have gotten it for Dune, but here's what I'll say is that A Complete Unknown is exactly what you said, a, by the numbers biopic. But I was so amazed by what Timothée Chalamet did in it. To make me that engaged with something where I knew basically everything that was going to happen at every time. But his somehow his performance as Bob Dylan was just, he's so good. I walked away being like, how is he always doing it? He is really just, I think he's very good. He's a very good actor.
And a difficult kind of guy, keeping him elusive as he is and always has been. And something still drawing you in. was really interesting.
All right.
So let's go on to Best Actress. I'm just going right down the wiki.
Yeah,
the wiki thing. Harper, I remember when we did this with you, we forgot to do Best Picture. So now I'm paranoid about missing categories. We had to
remember.
We had to Skype in with you to do the last category. So I'm very paranoid about missing major categories. Yeah. So Best Actress in a Leading Role: Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, Carla Sofia Gascon for Emilia Perez, Mikey Madison for Honora, Demi Moore, The Substance, and Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here. I would say an almost perfect category. I mean, we don't have to get into why I don't like Emilia Perez. I know that has been talked about to death, so we will not really...
We don't need to pile on.
We don't really... We're not going to pile on to that movie anymore on this podcast. Yeah. Easily, she is the performance that I would probably nix of that category. Controversy aside, I think it's kind of an underwritten role that I don't walk away from that movie really remembering that performance.
She's still fifth, probably, yeah.
Yeah, so I would say it's going to be a close one between Demi Moore and Mikey.
Yeah.
Madsen for Honora. It's really interesting following this Oscar race, and for when a movie like The Substance came out, I would have said back then when we first saw it, I think it's a great performance. I can see it making it just far enough and missing the Oscar. But I think that Demi just kind of rode that buzz all season.
Yeah, we didn't know it was going to become what it became. And by the time we rolled into that Globes with Fernanda here, Dark Horse, with the drama win, and Demi's excellent speech, you know, basically saying, they told me I was just a popcorn actress. Mm-hmm. And to see that momentum build and build as she kept winning until BAFTA when Mikey stepped in.
Hey.
I mean, I think it's down to a wire. I mean,
same. I think it could go either way.
My personal vote is Mikey, but I have written Demi down in my predictions because that's a story.
Yeah,
they love.
Yeah,
they love a story. Mm-hmm. I said Mikey is my pick, and then Demi likely to win. I would be so happy to see it go to Fernanda Torres, though. Honestly,
great
I thought she was
phenomenal,
so amazing in that movie. Like I have a little bit of issue with how that movie ends, but overall, her performance in that movie is so wonderful.
And it's been so interesting tracking the Brazilian response.
Yeah, sure.
On socials, and we know this is not Academy voters, but even the very small clump of Academy voters who think about her and her mother having that Oscar history, and it's so interesting, right?
I read something about when categories are very, very split like this with Mikey and Demi, that it might skew towards the film that was more well received, which I think in this case might be Honora.
Might be Honora.
Yeah. I could see that.
But I
have a question about Oscar voting. So I know, the ranked voting, is that only for Best Picture, or does that apply to other categories?
I think it's only for Best Picture.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're not ranking the acting.
It'd be interesting if all the other categories did that. You might have some unusual winners for all of them.
You mean for phase 2. Yeah, once they're past the nominations phase.
Mm-hmm.
They're just putting down one name, I believe.
And also, it's just kind of a little button to put on the lead actress conversation. And for a movie like The Substance, that it's really fascinating with that movie in particular, that it sidestepped the horror conversation with awards. Mm-hmm. That I think that for a movie like that, you can kind of lean more into ageism in Hollywood as being kind of the main focus of that campaign, not that
body horror or
not kind of the body horror element or how crazy the movie is. So yeah, I'm curious about what everyone's mom is going to think about The Substance when they're tracking down all of these movies to watch.
I mean, that's the thing. My mom loves Demi. She grew up with her, seeing her in movies, and back in the 90s, Demi was one of the originals in the 90s. Like, what is she going to wear on the red carpet with the little bicycle shorts and, and the bustiers and all of that and the short hair. And my mom's been on board with Demi the whole time. Will not watch the substance.
I was trying to tell my mom about it, and I'm like, I just don't think that it's your thing.
It's not for you.
It's not really for you.
I get it. I didn't watch it until you asked me to come on the podcast and talk about the Oscars this year. I was like, I have no interest in seeing that. It's not for me. And I was like, oh, well, now I gotta go.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why I watched it. So I get it. I'm with the moms, I love Demi, but I do not love the body horror.
Yeah.
I think that my initial impression of that movie was I really liked it, but I think this movie
we had
would have
issues
been
walking out.
I think this movie would have been so much better at a solid 2 hours.
Yeah.
Under 2 hours, if you
Yeah.
could condense this story, I think it would be probably a little stronger.
Yeah.
I think I realized my threshold for body horror is much higher than I thought it was. And especially because when we talked about it, we actually thought the grossest thing was Dennis Quaid eating.
Dennis Quaid eating.
Oh, yeah, that was gross.
Was the worst part for me. I think too long. I think you can easily cut 20 to 30 minutes out of them. At least 30 because it's 2 hours and 20, I think. And I'm here saying it could be under,
Give me a 150.
100 minutes. Easy. But yeah, I don't know.
Sue.
We walked out and we were like, yeah, great performance, but as a whole, I was going to say on the whole, as a whole, I feel like they're, not perfect. But yeah, the storyline of this entire year and Demi and everything, it's like you can't beat it. That said, Mikey Madison, this is another one, where she's great, right? And in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Scream 5,
yeah.
Both of those movies, I was like, this little tramp. Fuck her. I hated her, but it's her character. She is awful.
She's very good at playing annoying,
and she's so good at that role that I just want to throw a can of dog food in her face, And so I was like, I thought I genuinely didn't like her as an actress, and then I see Honora, and I'm just like, oh man,
she got layers.
Give her everything. Give this girl, protect her at all costs. Give her everything. I love her, And I know this is horrible of me to say, but I've said it in the past. I love her. I think she is stunning. Stenosha Brooks, the face can't beat it. But Mama, how many actresses of a certain age are sitting in that audience going, with that nose, she's winning these awards? I had to do what to my face? And this little girl's walking in here fresh off the street without a stitch of work. And people have gone up to Mikey Madison in the industry and said, listen, sister, if you want to get anywhere, let's work on what you got. But she didn't. And she's out there with, a completely... for what do I know? But from what it looks like, a completely natural looking face, and she's killing it, and she's so good, and she's just like, I don't know. I think she just has that X factor, So that's my take with her.
She's my vote of the category as well.
Yeah, and I love Demi. I've been on the Demi train this whole time, but I would be happy either way.
I think that I would be happy for either Mikey, Demi, or Fernanda. I think all three are solid performances.
Great moments to celebrate. Yeah.
So, Best Actor in a Supporting Role, Yura Borislav for Honora. Is that how you...
Yura Borislav?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Kieran Culkin, A Real Pain, Edward Norton, A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce, The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice. So, I just watched The Apprentice yesterday, a movie that I had been putting off since it came out, that I didn't think I was going to watch it, and I finally watched it, and I thought it was pretty solid.
Good performances.
It had really good performances in it.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to watch it. I just couldn't.
Same. Yeah. I'm with you.
I tried to get this one to watch it the other night,
Scott,
and he vetoed it.
I said no.
I had to watch it when I got home the other night.
You watch it on your own.
I have a sick fascination with. I've seen Roy Cohn docs, and just it's chilling how we've gotten here, and it mostly is because of this one man.
Yeah.
So I kind of have a weird thing with it, and that's why my curiosity. Jeremy Strong does go there, though. If you want to talk about roles, that person's going to get sick, they're going to be gay and have gay sex,
walking around in a Speedo.
It's just checking boxes. But I know for me, my pick and who I think will win is Kieran Culkin, his Succession castmate. But once again, we get into a weird thing. It's not really my complaint, but it is a co-lead with Jesse.
Yeah.
And Kieran,
I can see that.
The movie starts and ends on his face, and he is in supporting. So it's,
to me, that's a little bit like putting Jennifer Hudson in supporting actress for Dreamgirls. Like, that's what this is a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked A Real Pain, a movie that I didn't think that I would really respond to, but I thought it was a really good movie.
Really liked that.
Really good performance. He would probably be my vote for the category as well, and he's been kind of winning everything.
And Jesse has such like a deft hand with just not only the directing but the script, and I thought it was well done.
Yeah, very well done, but justice for Igor.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yura is so good in that movie.
Come on, you're a Borisov. Like,
doing a lot with little words.
Doing a lot with little words. You want to talk about a face card that won't get declined anywhere?
I hear he's huge in Russia.
America's sweetheart. He is. He's big in Russia. He's got a big career back home, but just so charming.
And especially for a performance that you really walk away from that 2 hours and 20 minutes, that you really remember his last scene of the movie. Too. It really sticks with you.
That scene in general.
Honora's over 2 hours.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours.
Flies.
And 20
it's like
minutes.
2.5.
Flies by.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like they don't even leave the house until over an hour into the movie.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Yura's my pick too, for sure. I would vote for him, but I think it's going to go to Kieran.
Yeah, it's going to.
I would probably Yura or Kieran are my votes of the category. So, Best Actress in a Supporting Role, Monica Barbaro for A Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande for Wicked, Felicity Jones, The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini, Conclave, and Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez. Okay, so we mentioned before that we are not the biggest Emilia Perez fans on the podcast. I do not get the appeal of this performance. I don't even get why people say it's actually good.
It's a weird thing, right? It's like she has so much to do, and the musical, the words, the different things she has to play and scenes she has to play. But yeah, I don't understand why it's a sweeper, I guess.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not a clue. I mean, I think that I don't know, if people were looking for a musical to get behind this year, I just don't understand why this is the one.
Yeah.
You know? Like, Better Man is out there.
Yeah,
Wicked and Better Man.
Better Man is out there.
Better Man's out there, and Ariana just sitting right here next to her in the category.
Yeah.
I mean, is it because she's for all intents and purposes, an American actress doing an entire movie in Spanish? With her first language, but you know what I mean. So it's like to like moviegoers, is it like, wow, this is impressive? Look at her do it all in Spanish. Well, but it's like it's her first language.
Well, what do you guys think about the talk that seemed to enter almost every Zoe article, which was she kind of saved movies for us because of Star Trek, Guardians, Avatar.
Her movies have made a lot of money. That's kind of the argument.
Her movies saved the business.
But no thanks to her, though. It's not like she's the reason we're going to see all those movies.
But she's
very
I think she's a good actor.
No,
and that's what is kind of pisses me off about this category in this movie is I generally really like her.
Yes,
and I hate that this movie is making me not like her.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's very it kind of pisses me off.
Or you're not liking it will define her if she wins to such an extent.
Yeah. Or if she wins, it's going to be one of those weird wins that people don't like to talk about.
Well, the other thing too is that, like we said with Kieran, this is a lead role.
Yep.
In this film.
Yeah. Because you're really following her through the movie, like setting up, like the operation and setting up like the, Selena Gomez moving to another country and then setting up the business and then getting the family situated. You're really following Zoe Saldana.
Carla is supporting.
It's her story.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to get to the thought process of like why this performance is just like really blowing everyone away, but I don't. Yeah.
I have the same thing about the songs. I mean, we'll get to it later.
Yeah.
But like, what's going on with the songs? You know.
Yeah. No.
And my pick is not because she's supposedly dating my boy, but my pick for the category is Monica Barbaro.
A performance that I was kind of mid on A Complete Unknown, but I remember turning off that movie and thinking, wow, the actress that played Joan Baez was really good. Mm-hmm. Like, so she was one of like my standouts of that movie.
Yeah, I think she was great.
I don't know
my personal pick.
Yeah.
Isabella Rossellini.
Yeah. That's going to be my personal pick as well.
Alone,
7 minutes
when she walks out and she curtsies. Oh, the curtsy!
Yeah,
it's
I
so
think
good.
that I'm on the Isabella Rossellini train as well.
I love that.
I would love to see her speech if she won too. I think it would be very moving.
And she would say, "My mother and father,"
because she would talk about her parents. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
She's the original Nepo baby.
That's right.
Yes.
over.
It said 7 minutes of screen time.
but you know what?
Love it.
I remember. You know who she is in that entire movie, though. So like she's there. So it's not like you forget about her. Like she's constantly like in the background of scenes. Like she's always know that she's there.
Yeah,
the presence.
Yeah,
the presence. But yeah.
So do we think that Wicked?
Are they going to reward it next year?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny, right? Because if you're going by the show and now they're adding new songs, which Cynthia has a hand in for part 2, if you're going by the show,
right.
Act 2 is the Alphaba show.
Right.
It's dark.
Yeah.
And it's her.
Yeah.
So it'll be, even if it comes through with fewer nominations next year, it'll be interesting performance-wise if they go back to them or sit them out.
Yeah. I just think, like, I'm just trying to put myself in the mind of, like, an Academy voter, and I think there's very much the, like, they'll be back next year kind of a thing. So, like, I'm not even going to worry about them right now.
But then I'm sure other things will come out next year that will have to take precedent over Wicked, you know, and so then Wicked won't get recognized.
Yeah, they're going to get gooped again.
I mean, they're going to get to leave you with a lovely emotional note at the end of that show, but it'll be interesting.
Yeah, you're right. The second part of the show is very weird and hard to think about how they will expand that into a full-length movie. But I don't know. Based on what they gave us with the first movie, I completely trust the filmmakers to give us something exciting for the second half.
Yeah, it'll be interesting what the new stuff that's added.
Yeah. But I wonder about that since they both kind of got left out of everything.
Yeah.
What's going to happen next year?
Yeah.
I'm curious.
I mean, I really... Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, here. No, you finish.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I really, would not be mad about Ariana Grande getting Best Supporting this year.
I was going to say, who do you think the upset of this category would be if somebody else could win?
Yeah, Ariana.
Yeah, I'd love it.
Ariana.
I'd love it.
Yeah.
A performance that I remember kind of being sold on. Or, I remember going into that movie thinking I was going to maybe be a little unimpressed with it. But I think Ariana really won me over from the very beginning.
Those comic skills, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, to me, she'll always be Kat from Victoria, so, you know.
She was bringing those skills.
Don't make me laugh.
No, you're right. That's the thing, Harper. I think people of a certain generation are like, what do you talk? We knew we already knew Ariana Grande could make them laugh.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of people out there who are just like, what is she going to bring to the table? And then when we saw it, we're just like, oh my God, she's the queen of comedy.
Give her
jump to feature. Give her
films.
everything. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like everybody's just like, it's her first movie. It's her first movie. Yes, but she has how many episodes of television under her belt? She's been working in the business for so long. So yes, this was her first feature, but she's been in the room with people. But that said, I was blown away, and I was like, great, love it, perfect. She's Glinda. Bring us the second movie right now.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So let's move on to writing. So Best Original Screenplay, Honora the Brutalist, A Real Pain, September 5, and The Substance. So I feel like this category realistically is going to come down to Honora and A Real Pain. Is it going to be one of those things like with Paul Thomas Anderson for Licorice Pizza where everybody assumes that he's going to win? This is going to be Sean Baker for Honora, but it's actually going to be Jesse Eisenberg.
I feel like,
I feel like Jesse is ripe to spoil here, even though the film is not in Best Picture. I feel like exactly what you said. It feels primed for that.
Mm-hmm.
And even the Substance has picked up some things along the way. There has been some spread love between 3.
Yeah, I guess the Substance could be the third party to enter and to win. Mm-hmm. September 5, a movie that just its lone screenplay nomination. That I mean, who was it from the Hollywood Reporter that had it winning Best Picture?
Scott Feinberg.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Classic.
Yeah, didn't quite happen.
Classic.
Wait, did you guys watch September 5?
I did.
I haven't watched it yet.
A nice tight 90, right?
Yeah, I watched it today.
It just went to Paramount Plus.
It is exactly my kind of movie. Like that's the thing. It's like it's one of those things where I know this is not the best movie ever made, but it's like it feels specifically made for me. It's like about the ethics of journalism. It's about it's really fast talking. They're constantly moving. It's like in real time. And like it's got my guys. It's got John Magaro. It's got Peter Sarsgaard. You know, I love these guys. So for me, like it was specifically designed for me to just like have a really nice time on my couch.
Love Magaro. All like that 70s smoking and
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, love a newsroom. It was fun, tight. And probably, with challengers could have easily showed up in editing as well,
Yeah.
So, best writing adapted screenplay: A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing. Oh, I wanted to mention before for Nickel Boys and supporting actress. We watched Nickel Boys last night. Ingenue Ellis, Taylor.
Lovely.
I know.
How did she not make it in supporting actress?
Great.
Like I find that shocking.
Nickel Boys has overall been that's what we should have been talking about in snubs is Nickel Boys. Like cinematography.
Yeah.
Like where is it? It's like I guess you are a little bit limited in like where the camera can move exactly from that like first person POV thing, but like it's just so good. Like it looks the colors and the texture and like actually accomplishing those shots. It's really an incredible achievement of cinematography and editing as well to like get through all of that. And then no spoilers, but what you find out at the end is so reliant on the way the movie's been edited, right? I think that it's so to me those are the top 2 achievements of the movie and they are not recognized here, which is nuts.
Mm-hmm. It's one of those weird things where it's like they're telling us to be, sit back and be happy because it made picture, right? Like this little tiny movie, but it's like it deserved these other things.
Yeah.
But I think Conclave.
I think it's going to be Conclave. I think if it wins anything, it's going to be adapted screenplay
because those guys were talking and Isabella was coming in, and Isabella was coming in and laying it down.
So animated feature, I have seen all of these movies except one. So the nominees are Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoirs of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, and The Wild Robot. This is an interesting category where it's kind of moving away from Disney. Which I think I like that Disney is not the clear favorite anymore. That I kind of like that something like The Wild Robot or Flow could end up winning this category.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going with Wild Robot.
I feel like Wild Robot's going to take it.
Yeah. But if they want that boy in the hair and artsy upset, then Flow is waiting there. But yeah,
I really enjoyed Flow. I have to say it felt like a video game.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like it felt like I was playing a video game, and it kind of looked like one. So I understand that is the process, and that's the idea. It's supposed to look like that, but I don't know. There was just something a little because it looked a certain way, and the story flowed in such a way. It had such video game vibes to me.
Cat World.
Yeah, I mean, there are like 2 big cat video games out there, Stray being one of them, and they look very similar. Really enjoyed it, but I don't know. I just feel like Wild Robot just feels like a best animated feature kind of movie.
Mm-hmm. A return for DreamWorks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And maybe this is just 'cause I'm not like an animal person too, but I feel like Wild Robot, because the animals could talk, I could like relate to them more.
Sure.
I don't know. But like with Flo, I was like, yeah, okay, like I see it. And they are by the end, like they're a found family, cute animals, love it. They survive, sad whale, all that stuff happens. But like I feel like Wild Robot, like I was so invested in one, the robot, and then two, the community that they build. I was just so, bought into all of that.
Yeah. I mean, you get Catherine O'Hara as Possum Mama.
That's right.
Our boy
Possum Mama was really funny.
Our boy Kit.
As,
I love him.
As that dumb little duck.
Yeah.
And what we do in the shadows.
Sure.
As the beaver.
Yeah.
Really funny.
Oh yeah.
Was he a beaver?
And is it Pedro as the fox?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Daddy Fox.
Daddy Fox.
Yeah,
Pedro
Memoirs
Pascal.
of a Snail is the only one that I've not seen in this.
I'd love to catch up with that.
Yeah, I missed that one too.
Mm-hmm. We never saw Max and Ruby either, so we gotta get on
We
that
did a
train.
double feature of Wallace and Gromit, the short. What is it?
It is The Wrong Trousers.
The Wrong Trousers, and then we watched Vengeance Most Foul.
Yeah.
So we saw the complete arc.
Oh, that was good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I gotta see it.
Yeah.
So international feature for Amelia Perez for France, Flo for Latvia. Did I pronounce that right?
Latvia?
Latvia. The Girl with the Needle for Denmark. I'm Still Here for Brazil. And The Seed and the Sacred Fig from Germany. I just watched The Girl with the Needle
yesterday
from Denmark. And holy shit, is it bleak.
Oof.
But yeah, you mentioned before of just sort of the thought process of voters, of the type of voter that I would love to pick the brain of who is putting Amelia Perez over any of these movies. Like, I would love to just kind of, what is your thought process? Have you seen all of the movies?
Well, but I mean, also, don't you think, Harper, there's also this voter we're seeing in some of these anonymous ballots, which we do not rely on, that because the drama had time to fully kick in, that some of them are saying, I just caught up with I'm Still Here. I loved it. And you know what, Amelia, it did color it for me. It sinks lower. So, I mean, that's why this is a close race. I have I'm Still Here winning by a hair.
I think it's going to be I'm Still Here.
Just by a tiny bit, yeah.
I think the reason why I think I'm Still Here is going to win, even so, like taking into account like what the early voters were thinking and what the more recent voters were thinking, right? So early voters were maybe like, because Amelia Perez was looking like a Best Picture winner, possibly, right? Yeah. And so if it was going to win Best Picture, then maybe they were thinking, oh, we'll give it to something else in international, and then I'm Still Here could get it for that. And that's what I was thinking originally. And now if Amelia Perez is being like kind of fully boxed out, then it's still I'm Still Here. So it feels to me like that's the most likely win.
Right. That's a good way of thinking about it.
I've seen all of these except The Seed and the Sacred Fig, which I still need to catch up with. Mm-hmm. But The Girl with the Needle, it is a downer of a movie, but I'm really glad that I watched it, though.
It's really bleak. Give it trigger warnings for everything.
Yeah. Trigger warnings like across the board. Mm-hmm.
Is it unusual for an animated film to be in best
I would say so.
Except for, was it Flea?
Oh, yes.
That
Flea was really good.
Wasn't it Waltz with...
maybe Waltz?
Waltz
Bashir?
with Bashir.
Yeah.
Was it in both?
Flea was great, the gay one, right? That did the international film and the...
I think that Waltz with Bashir may have got both categories.
Oh, and then there was the one that was based on a graphic novel, and it was from Iran.
Persepolis?
Persepolis, that was animated.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, that was animated as well, yeah.
So, Harper, we might have to hand off the documentary feature and short to you. Have you seen all of these?
Documentary feature, I've actually only seen 2 of them. It is Sounding Like No Other Land is like the favorite. That's the one about the Palestine-Israel conflict. Mm-hmm. And that one is about, I think that one's about like 2 like friends, one who's Palestinian, one who's Israeli, and with their relationship with the background of the conflict. But I saw, so the ones I watched, Black Box Diaries, like holy shit, like that is like the strongest woman to ever live. Like I was watching it. ended up, I don't know, Paramount Plus was being weird on my TV, so I ended up watching it on my little tiny tablet. And I'm kind of glad, because I think watching it on the TV, I was so confronted with this really horrible thing that had happened to this woman and then what she went through. So basically she's an investigative journalist in Japan who is investigating her own rape. Right. And pursuing a criminal case and then ultimately a civil case. And then she writes a book, and all of this stuff happens. And it's the laws in Japan regarding rape and sexual assault are so bad. Age of consent is 13. And the thing that was really one of the things that was really horrifying was that she, when she went to the police, had to reenact the event with a life-size doll.
Wow.
So all of this stuff, I know I'm going way too into this, but this movie, it's just one thing after another, and she is really holding it together in the first half, and then finally she kind of breaks, which is so reasonable and understandable because she's been through so much. And I don't know, she's just so strong. And it's it's one of those things, it's a really simply photographed movie and simply edited, but it is just so effective. What a story. And then the other one that I watched was Sugarcane, which was also just really horrible. That one is about
that's on Disney Plus, I think.
Also really horrible.
Shades of Nickel Boys, right?
It's about the Indian schools in Canada.
Oh, sure. Oh my gosh.
And where these children, one, were forced to conform to a Catholic life, and then two, a lot of them were abused by priests, and so it does a really good job, I think, of showing the scale of the impact on a community and how that continues with generational trauma to Indigenous people living in Canada today.
It's I guess it's of no surprise that even further with soundtrack to a coup d'etat, in Porcelain War that tackles the Ukraine war, that all of these docs, really, as they often do, but dig deep into some really current issues. Yeah. Do you guys feel like if No Other Land does polarize voters, what do you think the backup is? Is it the Ukraine war with Porcelain War, or is it one of these others that Harper saw?
I think that Sugarcane could be the one that voters might. I'm also thinking that Sugarcane's on something like Hulu,
right?
So it might be accessible to more people too.
Yep.
Yeah, Black Box Diaries is only on Paramount Plus with Showtime, so that one's not as out there.
Yeah, I think No Other Land.
But I am not super familiar with documentary, short film, the live action. Which one? Yeah. Which one did you see? Was it?
I saw all of the documentary shorts.
Okay.
I just want to say shout out to Instruments of a Beating Heart, which is my personal favorite. So cute. And just also I work with kids, and it made me feel like maybe I should be harder on children. That's what I took away from that. But because she grows so much and she learns and she becomes a better, fuller person. But I think Incident should win.
Heroin.
Actually. Yeah, I think that one's really amazing for editing.
The way they tell it with there's not a lot of sound in it, and they're using all body cam and cameras that are set up at the location.
Okay. Yeah. Is it on anything streaming right now?
It is on YouTube, The New Yorker.
Okay.
But I'm actually going with a thing that we know the Academy likes to do, which is the Netflix, The Only Girl in the Orchestra.
Oh, interesting.
Just because it's a little bit of accessibility, but they love music. But although maybe you could argue that with another music one, Instruments of a Beating Heart here, maybe the music thing is split.
Well, didn't the Last Repair
Shop? The Last Repair Shop won last year.
That's true. Oof. The Netflix of it all,
yeah. I'm kind of feeling like I'm Ready Warden might win. That's not a favorite of mine, but I could see it being one that Oscar voters would be moved by. Mm-hmm. But The Only Girl in the Orchestra is so interesting because it reminded me a lot of, not to bring it back to Ethan Hawke, but I always will. He made a documentary called Seymour: An Introduction, which feels almost exactly the same as Only Girl in the Orchestra. It's about this man who's a piano teacher in New York, and he's just got totally the same vibe. The same thing where he goes to the piano, the Steinway piano shop. It's beat for beat very similar, except for it's a feature length.
Yeah. And yes, we do get our second year of Leonard Bernstein in The Only Girl in the Orchestra.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Little moment.
I did love that. It made me want to watch Maestro again. Yeah. Sorry.
Snoopy.
Sorry, not sorry. I love Bradley.
Who left Snoopy in the vestibule? Why is Snoopy in the vestibule? Do either of you two have best live-action short and animated short?
I've seen a couple
I
of the
really
live
wanted
actions.
to make it to animated short this year, like I mentioned at the top of the show. The show times were really weird.
Yeah, I didn't get to animated, but I saw a few of the live actions. And I think given the subject matter of alien, is that how you would say it?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, the second Trump's little head popped up on that TV, I said, I think that's winning.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've heard buzz about The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent as well, though. I didn't watch that one, but yeah, and I didn't see The Last Ranger, which other people are also really liking. But yeah, Alien would be, of the three that I watched, like
so timely.
That one, hard watch. But I think it was also really so effective because it's, again, kind of like September 5. It's a real time kind of situation, and they do a very good job of editing back and forth.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one is also accessible online, yeah.
All right, well, let's keep things moving and go through kind of the rest of the tech categories. So for original score, The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. I would say The Brutalist is probably the favorite to win here. It has a pretty memorable score.
Yeah, with those images.
Mm-hmm. Even though the score for Conclave is really good, too. So I think it could go to either of those two. All right, so our favorite weird category every single year, original song. So we have the two from Emilia Perez, which, and also here's the thing about Emilia Perez, I don't really remember any of these two songs in the movie. Like, that's how they all blur together. So
vaginoplasty. Well, and none of them are penis and vagina.
Rhinoplasty.
But that one's not. But that one's not nominated.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Did you all watch Annette with Adam Driver?
I haven't seen Annette.
I haven't seen it.
Okay, so the songwriters of Emilia Perez are the songwriters of Annette, which also had very strange songs in it.
No way.
So maybe for context, I would say go back and watch that one. It's just a bizarre movie, but that to me kind of explains why the songs in this are the way they are. But I just want like a real musical sometime to win original song, you know?
Hopefully we get that next year.
So which one is Zoe Saldana's song?
El Mal.
El Mal.
Okay, so that's her big scene in the banquet hall.
That's one where she's like this.
Yeah, she's doing that, and she's doing like this red blouse.
Yeah.
I mean, Elton and Brandy Carlisle was name checking. I got to see that doc.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah. I mean, Elton already got his second career Oscar for Rocket Man. I don't think that he needs another. I am really rooting for Diane Warren.
Me too. 16.
I think it can happen for this movie.
And if you watch the SAG Awards, hello, the In Memoriam was The Journey. It was this song.
Oh, it was?
She snuck it in there. I mean, I know we know voting was over, so it didn't matter.
What the hell is a 6888?
That's a Netflix
it's Kerry Washington, Tyler Perry,
all black World War II.
Yeah.
Okay. And Diane Warren wrote a song for that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually a really good song.
It's sung by. Is it sung by her or?
It's her. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've heard
her.
For all of the weird Diane Warren nominations that this is probably the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is definitely better than past Diane Warren songs for sure.
It's always tough. I'm calling the Diane Warren win over El Mal too, but it's always tough because we're told the reason why she doesn't win is voters do not see the composer when they're voting.
Oh.
Right. They're not given that information.
They need to be doing their homework.
They have to be doing their homework. They have to know that that's Diane's song. She hasn't won 16 times. You know, she has an honorary.
Who are these voters?
Get them all out. I mean, for best music,
get them all out.
I always wonder about the cuckoo voters who are in the songwriting branch.
Yeah, and Like a Bird is the fifth one, right? Sing Sing, yeah. Mm-hmm. Which I don't remember, but
that's a good song. It's it's good.
Yeah.
How do you two feel about best sound being one category? I kind of like it being two.
Yeah.
I like it being 2, but only because, like, obviously every year I do my Oscar ballot, and I had gotten really good at guessing the sound editing and sound mixing, and now I just don't even know what voters are looking for if it's just sound.
And they loved the musicals for mixing.
Yeah.
As opposed to the actual...
The action movies for editing, I feel like.
I mean, I feel like my pick of this category is probably Dune Part 2.
I think Dune will get it.
That I can see Dune Part 2 doing really well in some of these, sound being one of them.
I think Dune.
Yeah, I could also see Wicked because people are like, oh, there's music in that. We could give that sound.
Sure.
You know?
And even that, like, big train scene.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Oh, sure. Scott, you're telling me that this Diane Warren song is better than I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, How Do I Live, Because You Love Me?
No, we're talking about...
And Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now.
We're talking about the Diane Warren nominations from the past 10 years.
Last decade.
Oh, okay, last decade.
Because when you look at the past 10 years, there's some weird
Those
ones.
are weird. Those are... What are those? Those songs don't exist.
The one from RBG and
Yeah, one from... Did she do like 8 women or 8 the women or something?
Yeah, and there was like a Christian movie, like The Breakthrough, right, or something? Yeah.
The Breakthrough, The Life Ahead.
Yes. Oh my
4
God.
4 Good Days. I don't know what
4
these
Good
are.
Days was Glenn Close.
The Hunting Ground.
That was the... Now
that was the Lady Gaga one.
That was close.
She should have won for that one.
Till It Happens to You.
Got
it.
Oh, yeah.
Lady Gaga.
Beyond the Lights and then Pearl Harbor.
So, kind of going down the line for Best Production Design, The Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. I do kind of like Nosferatu was kind of carrying the flag for the non-Best Picture nominee getting some tech nominations. I like that. I talked about that on our last year's show of I would like to see more stuff like that happen. I would say Best Production Design, this is also a really hard one. I think that I have Dune Part 2 winning.
Yeah.
I think I have Wicked.
There's some really good stuff going on.
I don't even know.
No, yeah. I actually do have Wicked.
I think, production. It's close, though. A lot of strong contenders.
It's tough. I submitted a ballot to a contest, and I did say The Brutalist, and now I feel crazy for that.
Well, I mean, it's kind of cool what the Brutalist did with production design, that budget, because that movie looks like $100 million, and that is like a $10 million movie.
How did he do it?
Yeah.
Like, how did he do that?
I mean, Conclave has some really cool stuff too.
Yeah, the Vatican recreation.
Yeah.
The recreated.
But I mean,
Vatican
when you
scenes.
compare that to something like Dune Part 2 and Wicked,
you
know, and even Nosferatu, it's just like, oh my god.
Best cinematography, I do have Dune Part 2 winning. I can see it easily going to something like The Brutalist too.
Yeah,
I think often voters have trouble understanding cinematography if it's something where there's green screen happening a lot behind it. Like Dune Part 2 would have had to, the sky of Arrakis or whatever, it's like, how are you actually photographing that? I think that sometimes it'll like end up leaning more towards something that's a little bit more practical.
Yeah, I think like Avatars are one exception there. But I went with The Brutalist.
Yeah. I would also have to go with The Brutalist.
Best makeup and hair design. I mean, God bless Demi Moore. She was carrying this entire campaign
hours in the chair
on her back in her on her Instagram account. She was posting all of this stuff all fall. So I think that the substance kind of has this in the bag.
The substance. Done.
Best costume design. I also have Wicked.
Wicked, Paul.
Yeah.
I think that you're right. I think it's going to be best production design and best costume. And for film editing, this is also a tricky one because it's going to really boil down to what wins best picture. It could be Anora, The Brutalist, or Conclave. I don't know.
Tough.
I think that I have Anora winning for right now.
I think I have Conclave winning for right now.
Conclave winning right now, but I would be happy to see Anora because I think it's so cool that Sean Baker edits his own movies.
Yeah,
edits, cast, directs. Yeah, it's great.
So rounding out the tech categories for visual effects, Alien Romulus, Better Man, Dune Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wicked. A very monkey-heavy year.
Yeah,
in
I
visual
love
effects.
It.
Yeah.
I would vote for Better Man personally. I think that the monkey, effects on top of dancing,
loved that.
And like also the way like the camera is constantly moving in all of that choreography, the dance scenes, and so I think that that's actually would have been technically quite difficult to get all of that to work together and look as good as it did. That would be my vote, but I think it will go to Dune Part 2.
Yeah, my vote is also Better Man, but I think it's going to go to Dune too.
I always rally really hard for the Planet of the Apes movies. I like to see at least one win, and I really liked Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, this last one was really good.
I thought it was really good. All right, so rounding out the last two
Best
for
picture.
director.
Director, yeah.
This is also a really hard one. I mean, like we mentioned before, Conclave is not there. So Sean Baker for Honora, Brady Corbett for The Brutalist, James Mangold, The Complete Unknown. How do you pronounce the director of
Jacques Audiard?
Jacques Audiard, who I feel like has this very Grinch. Is the Grinch? Is he going to be the Grinch to steal this category on Oscar night? I don't know. And then Coralie Farget for The Substance.
How do we say it? Farget?
Farget?
Yeah.
Sure.
I think that I have Sean Baker winning this.
I would be good with Sean Baker or Brady Corbet.
I have Sean Baker. I'm not breaking that DGA stat, but it was interesting to see things change, at DGA.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think of Best Picture? I think that this race really comes down to Honora, The Brutalist, and Conclave.
I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I think this is why I was asking about the ranked voting. I think this is one where it could be Conclave as a result of ranked voting.
Sure. Because Conclave is going to be the second or the third in a lot of voters.
Down the middle strong movie ranked high, even if Honora's ranked high with it. I'm sticking to my Honora only because it is hard for me. This means Conclave is Crash. It would be breaking. It would not nowhere close. We love Conclave, but it's breaking the stat of PGA, WGA, DGA.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Honora has all three.
Honora
of those?
has those.
Oh wow.
So Conclave has to break it.
Okay.
And it has to be Crash to Brokeback.
Sure.
And I have trouble going there, but I totally see why you guys. It makes so much sense.
Yeah. I think that I'm keeping Honora as
now.
my Best Picture winner.
We're like, for now.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Today.
It's tough.
I think for me, like, why I have trouble committing to Honora as the winner is that, like, I loved Honora so much. It is my second favorite movie of the year after Challengers. But it was one of those movies where I walked away thinking, like, this is amazing, but will anyone else get it, And so, like, I hope everyone got it, but I just, as far as Oscar voters go, the people that voted for Green Book, the people that voted for Coda, no offense, I don't know. I just don't know if they'd get it.
It's like our minds can imagine more people voting for Conclave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, it's tight.
It's a hard one. All right. Did you notice our cat sitting on Josh's lap?
I did, yeah. I was thinking of you guys when I was watching Flow today because I was like, oh, there's a cat. They're cat people.
Those fucking dogs in Flow. Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness.
Those dogs need to drown.
But they're like dogs.
Yeah.
That's how dogs are.
I love when they go into
dummies.
I love when they go into that astral plane light.
Oh, yeah.
At least the bird gets to get away then.
The bird.
I know the bird got raptured.
The bird getting raptured.
Oh, goodness. All right, Scott, what do we got?
The MTMUG Award. So we're not doing the traditional Oscar categories. We're kind of going into the fun Teen Choice Award, MTV Movie Award categories. So a lot of these have kind of existed in all of those award shows. So we're starting out with Most Desirable, which I believe was an MTV Movie Award category in the early 90s, and I think they kind of phased this out around 97 or so. So in Most Desirable, we also all kind of contributed all of these nominees. We're working off of a Google Doc earlier this year, so we all came up with these nominees. So Most Desirable, Aaron Taylor-Johnson for Nosferatu, Jonathan Bailey in Wicked, and Josh O'Connor, Mike Feist, and Zendaya for Challengers. We're putting them all as one. Nicholas Hoult in Juror Number 2, and Paul Mescal for Gladiator 2. So what do we kind of think? I kind of figured we would do like a vote in the category as we go on. So who are we feeling in this one?
Oh, well.
We know what Harper's
It's gotta be Challengers. Yeah, I love some messy bisexual representation, you know?
I'm into that.
I can be
Give
down.
me those nominees one more time, real quick. Run through.
Aaron Taylor Johnson, Jonathan Bailey,
Yeah.
Challengers, Nicholas Hoult, and Paul Mescal.
I mean, I love Nicholas Hoult, but not in that movie.
Oh, but his skin and his eyes.
You're the one that added that one.
His eyes.
I love it. Just that
His
beautiful
eyes.
skin and those blue eyes.
Yeah, no, you're right. Those eyes and the dark hair, you can't beat it.
But I could go down with the Challengers with you guys.
Yeah.
I'm going for Jonathan Bailey.
Although, yeah, when Jonathan Bailey steps on those books, baby.
Out of here, mama. Picking up the librarian. Shoot.
Well, I have been like a long time Wicked listener, you know, since when the musical came out back in the day, and like Dancing Through Life never did it for me. And then I watched this movie and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, he's better than the original actor on that soundtrack.
Oh, absolutely.
He's so great.
The vocal performance.
The vocal performance.
Yeah, but just the whole
And they had
song
new
and
things
dance.
and, yeah.
And the Shiz University uniform. Well, he's not even in the Shiz University uniform.
You said he has a very Diana Ross quality from
Ross.
Mahogany.
The Wiz?
Oh, Mahogany. Because the men love me, the women love me, everybody.
Yeah.
Well, you want to talk about bisexual representation. In
That's true.
the Wicked film, they're really presenting Fiyero as just like...
Loves everyone.
Everybody loves him. You know why?
No, I loved that.
I'm a winner, baby.
Yeah. So that's my choice.
Well, I think that probably Challengers ends up winning.
I think you're right. I think
So, Best Kiss, we have Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling for The Fall Guy, Josh O'Connor, Mike Feiss, and Zendaya in Challengers.
Ooh, mama.
And a contentious nominee that I remember this being in the movie. Harper does not think it's there. But
It's
I
not.
have Daisy Edgar Jones and Glenn Powell for Twisters. They do not have a kiss scene in the movie.
No, they don't have a
They
kiss.
do not.
No.
What happens at the end is that they're at the airport and it's like almost a kissing. He goes after her, and then before they kiss, they hear an announcement saying that there's like weather happening, and so then they just smile at each other and they leave the airport to go like see the tornado, and you don't get the kiss. The kiss was something we all saw as a deleted scene that circulated at the same time as the movie.
Okay. I think that was it.
How interesting. So then we have to go three-way again?
And Scott and I were agonizing over Lily Rose Depp and Nosferatu, but they don't actually kiss either.
Oh.
They never
a
actually
Pretty Woman
kiss.
situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So they have to be left out. So I think we have to go back with Challengers.
Challengers is probably winning this one too. Yep. So, speaking of that, best Get It On scene, Jessica Reynolds and Mo Chara for Kneecap. I need to see Kneecap.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fun.
I need to see that movie.
In the snub section, we missed this. This should have been nominated. They had one original song. They are a real band that exists, but they did do an original song to try to get in there. They also are largely in Irish. It is not an English language film mostly. So it should have been an international. I do think that there's room for it there. Cough, cough, Amelia Perez. What a snub overall. It's a great movie. It's in my top 10.
It's great.
Yeah, I need to see it. I know it's sitting there on Netflix for me to watch it.
It is. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
and Lily Rose Depp and Bill Skarsgård for Nosferatu. We just mentioned that. Daniel Craig and Drew Starsky for Queer.
Drew Starkey, I just have like white male facial blindness with him.
Yeah, he's an interesting one. And the boldness for the actors on actors to put both of them together.
Psychotic.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a fun, aggressive scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll go with Kneecap. I'll go with Harper.
Oh, I'm just going to defer to you guys because I did not see Nosferatu because I'm a little scared baby. And I missed Queer. I just missed it. So, so Kneecap's the only one I've seen.
Okay. We can go for Kneecap as the winner. All right, best fight. Monkey Robin Williams versus himself in Better Man.
Monkey Robin Williams.
Paul Mescal and Pedro Pascal in Gladiator 2. And Timothy Chalamet and Austin Butler for Dune Part 2.
This is a good category, I gotta say.
Good category.
That bald Austin is so cool.
Yeah.
I knew
Doing
that,
his best Stellan Skarsgård impression.
Yeah. I knew that kind of going into Dune Part 2 that this would be the big showstopper scene that I knew that I would love.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite scenes of the David Lynch movie as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm going with Tim and Austin.
Okay.
Yeah.
For
I
Dune
love
Part
Join you there.
May Thy Blade Chip and Shatter.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Although I think I gotta go Better Man because that scene is crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
It is good.
Very good. Yeah.
We haven't seen it, so I'm gonna go with Dune Part 2.
Yeah.
What's
okay.
your
I can
vote?
get behind Dune Part 2.
Dune Part 2? I was going to say, are we going to have a tie? It's ladies and gentlemen, it's a tie.
It's a tie. What do you mean a tie?
All right, this is going to be a really fun one because I have audio polls for all of these.
Okay.
So, best line delivery. She's Gorgeous by Daisy Edgar Jones and Twisters.
She's gorgeous.
You'll Be My Instrument, Denzel Washington for Gladiator 2.
The gods delivered you to me. You will be my instrument.
I will never be your instrument in this life or the next.
All right.
So, Go Back to the Club. Adam Driver from Megalopolis.
So go back to the club, bear it all, and stalk the kind of people that you enjoy.
Fine.
Oh my God.
You're kind of an asshole, Bob, from A Complete Unknown.
You're kind of an asshole, Bob.
And
I do love that.
and Mikey from Honora.
Jealousy is a disease. Remember that, Diamond? I'm just gonna go chill in my mansion or whatever. No big deal.
Speaking of Better Man,
Oh, is that Robin
Yeah,
Williams?
it's Take That.
That's
Take
the
That.
boy band, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, those are some good ones.
Yeah.
It's a really fun category.
I'm just gonna go chill in my mansion.
I think that Honora is probably my pick because I just love saying mansion in a Brooklyn accent.
I think I could go with Honora, but the way that friggin' mess of a megalopolis, the way that
What is going on?
the way that Go Back to the Club sticks out is so funny.
And who's the
Yeah.
actress that is doing this scene with him?
From
Is it Natalie Emmanuel?
from Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
Oh,
great
okay,
actress, but she's delivering her lines in that scene like she's on Days of Our Lives or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
There were some choices made for sure with that movie.
Choices made. It's a movie that I really would like to ride hard for if it was remotely entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was a rough movie.
That was a rough spot.
It's so hard because a lot of these are lines. So like, Jonathan and I will just like I'm a huge proponent of going to the movies and seeing the trailers before a movie. Like I will always be on time for Maria Menounos, you know, the movie.
Same, yeah.
And so we see, and because we're A-listers, you know, I see all these trailers like 1,000 times.
Yep.
And so we will just say the lines from trailers back and forth to each other. And She's Gorgeous and You Will Be My Instrument and You're Kind of an Asshole, Bob are all like trailer lines.
Yeah.
And they're very important to me, all three of them.
Love it.
So
Can I just say shout out to Maria Menounos and her countless podcasts.
Oh, yes.
Are these podcasts like 17 minutes
Squad
long?
or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, there are those types of podcasts that each episode is under 20 minutes. You're like, what is this? This doesn't even count.
That's amazing.
Thanks for coming to Newbie. You're welcome, Maria. We love you.
I'll join you with Honora.
I have to go Denzel. You will be my instrument.
That's amazing.
Okay. Sounds good. That's too long. Go ahead.
For this one, best hissy fit, I was going to clip these, but it was a little too complicated. So we'll just kind of do a consensus of what we can remember of the movie.
Yeah.
I would say a hissy fit of a performance, because when I was trying to clip some of these, I really couldn't find them because you could really just take any moment of any of these performances. Joseph Quinn for Gladiator 2, Lily Rose Depp in Nosferatu, Mikey Madison, Nora, Guy Pearce, The Brutalist, and Demi Moore in The Substance. I guess Demi's more like the back half.
Right, when she gets to kind of witch it out.
Yeah.
But Mikey gets some great. Yeah, Mikey and Lily. Wow.
I mean, Mikey, that whole scene where she's like, where they tie her up
Yeah.
and she's like screaming. It's what a scene. So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Scenes like that must be really exhausting to film.
I'm sure.
Same for Lily Rose Depp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that
Convulsing
stuff,
and all that crazy
and
facial.
slobbering all over the place and all that.
That scene that is a direct pull from the original about the flowers. I think she's so good in that scene.
That's like very, very early on.
Yeah.
Too, in the movie.
Lily Rose Depp, one of those actresses that I didn't really have an opinion about until Nosferatu.
Yeah. Well, we didn't see The Idol.
Yeah,
so.
I didn't really watch The Idol. I had not really seen anything else with her, but I thought she was doing some pretty good work in Nosferatu.
Like that.
Maybe I'll have to watch it from home during the daytime with the curtains open.
Maybe on the tablet.
There's just going to be
on the tablet.
There's just going to be a gigantic glare, so you
Just
might
watch
not
it on your phone.
You might not even see a lot of it.
You'll miss it.
She's doing good work for the big forehead community. We love her.
So who's going to be the
Who's
winner
our
of this
best
category?
hissy fit?
Honora.
Mikey.
Yeah,
Mikey.
Yeah.
Mikey can get this. So I only have 2 nominees for best dressed: Demi Moore in The Substance and Jonathan Bailey in Wicked. Demi Moore in that coat.
I was going to say the yellow coat.
The
is
yellow
iconic.
coat.
Yeah, I mean Johnny fits those pants well, but yeah, I'll go with Demi in the coat.
Yeah. I think he's going to have more like luxurious, lavish costumes in the sequel.
Oh yeah.
When he's like captain of the guard or whatever he is. But this would you call it Harper, you like yellow. Would you call her coat Buttercup? What kind of yellow would you call?
What kind of
Demi's
like a sunflower? Almost.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, because it's a very specific color.
It's very yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, come through to me.
Here's a fun category that Pete and I were thinking for best nails. I mean, there's that great
there's a
line.
lot of nails going on
There's
this
that
season.
great line in Honora about the nails.
Right.
What does she say? She got.
Is that a butterfly?
Yeah, it's a butterfly.
You're so classy.
I know.
I got dollar signs like a real hoe.
No, but you're manifesting with those.
She got
her acrylics like a real hoe.
She got dollar signs like a real hoe. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're so. Even though she's got them in the movie, we're so distracted by Cynthia's real life nails that if you're going by the movie, then Mikey.
Well, okay, so there's who are our full list of nominees?
So we have Cynthia Rio in Wicked, and you can see like Cynthia has some pretty good nails in Wicked,
and she very much talked about that's part of Elphaba and her character, and she really thought about it, and she's got that whole like magnetic situation where there's like dimensions and layers and all that. It's hard to do. Good nails. Go on.
Mikey, of course, for Honora, and the third one, Bill Skarsgård for Nosferatu. But there are shots of his nails, and Nosferatu actually has really pretty nails.
Well, they're like the long stiletto, like pointy, like witchy nails that you get at like Spirit Halloween. So I thought he had to go in there if we're gonna have a nail category.
That's fun.
But I don't know. I think I might have to go with Cynthia.
I think I'm going to go with Cynthia.
Yeah,
you know what?
so
Me
too.
too. Me too.
Okay, sounds good. We love it.
Best comeback: Adrian Brody in The Brutalist, Demi Moore, The Substance, Feathers McGraw, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, and Josh Hartnett for Trap. I'm so glad, Harper, that you remembered to put Josh Hartnett for Trap.
Yeah, I mean, this whole concert's a trap,
I mean, we could have even put Haley Mills in this category.
That's true.
I think that maybe he can share it with Haley.
Josh Hartnett and Haley Mills for Trap. Yeah.
I had a good time at Trap.
I gotta catch that one.
Can I say, and this is going to sound crazy, but I do feel that Trap, the cinematography, loved it. I loved it so much. Like just that weird close up. It's like almost fisheye, but not quite. That weird close up angle that he gets on everyone when something tense is happening. It's so good. I just really enjoyed. I did see Trap twice in theaters.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it.
Work and also Justice for Lady Raven.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, Smile 2 wouldn't have happened on Lady Raven's watch.
I was gonna say we don't have a category for best fictional pop star because Lady Raven and Naomi Scott and Smile 2 are really like duking it out. But for best comeback, gosh, I mean, should we just go with Josh and Haley?
I think we should just go with Josh and Haley. I mean, Adrian Brody. It's kind of wild that
Cinderella story.
He went over 20 years.
Yeah,
just kind of. And I guess that he's had
Wes
successes.
Anderson
Like he's
parts.
had, he's had Wes Anderson, he's had King Kong, but I feel like, yeah.
I saw him in The Office one time, so he must have done something where he was being interviewed or photographed by Variety at one point.
Indies, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to go Demi just because I haven't seen The Wonderful Trap, and I plan to.
Okay, all right.
Harper, are you voting for Trap?
Sure.
Okay.
No one's voting for Feathers McGraw.
I do love Feathers. I really loved Vengeance Most Foul.
Yeah.
That would be my pick for animated.
Yeah. Best Slavic boyfriend / girlfriend.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Eastern European love interest this year.
Representation.
A lot of Eastern European representation, which I love. Best Slavic boyfriend / girlfriend. Felicity Jones in The Brutalist. Maria Bakalova in The Apprentice. Mark, all right, help me out with his last name.
Edelstein?
Edelstein.
Edelstein for Honora and Yura Borisov for Honora.
Yura.
I mean, Yura. Gotta be Yura.
He's the type of guy that you bring home to mom.
Wait, we didn't include Bill Skarsgård. Did you say that?
Oh yeah, and Bill Skarsgård for Nosferatu.
Yeah, I mean, Bill is not. He's Nordic, but the character is.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I love our love for Yura, but I'm gonna throw my vote to Mark with some demon twink energy.
Okay, all right. Yeah, just give him a little. Fair. That's fair. He is really good.
Give him a little love.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going.
I didn't see The Apprentice, but I love Maria Bakalova.
Yeah.
But I'm going with Yura.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Yura as well.
Okay.
What about you, Harper?
Yura.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's the type of guy that lights his cigarette for his girl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, do
And
cigarettes.
gives it to her. That last moment where he gives her the ring. I remember sitting in the theater and just being like, oh, that got me. That got me.
They got me, gal.
Get you good.
Got me. Mm-hmm. Or when he says apologize to her when they're on the plane.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love him.
Yeah.
Love him.
Great work.
All right. So, best hair. Bill Skarsgård's comb-over in Nosferatu.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
Cynthia Erivo in her fierce braids in Wicked.
Her bust-down braids.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Demi Moore in that jet black hair in The Substance. Kristen Stewart's mullet in Love Lies Bleeding. And Sebastian Stan in The Apprentice.
Chilling.
You see that hair transplant on camera.
Shivers.
I'm not someone that gets squeamish when it comes to stuff like that, but no thank you.
You're trying to tell me that Donald Trump had a hair transplant?
Well, he had a thing fix.
Yeah.
That's
weird. A weird thing happened back there, but
Uh-huh.
I'm going with Cynthia because, I love some Aussian micro braids.
We love the micro braids. They're, fierce. So good.
Yeah, I think
not to mention, they had to paint her scalp green because the wig is so good that it shows her scalp color through the lace.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's some major wig glue.
It's
too.
Yeah. It's some good work. It's a great wig.
Yeah, I think I'll go there. But
All right.
Same.
Cynthia.
Okay.
Bust down micro braids.
Best needle drop. All the Things She Said by Tattoo and Honora. Father Figure by George Michael and Baby Girl. Never Tear Us Apart by NXS and Baby Girl. One Less Lonely Girl by Justin Bieber and My Old Ass. And The Air That I Breathe by The Hollies and Heretic.
Wow.
Ooh.
It's got to be Justin Bieber for me. That scene, My Old Ass. This is a movie I saw 3 times in theaters.
To see this.
Yes, and I was smiling. I've never smiled harder in my life than during this scene. I don't want to say, if you haven't seen it, I don't want to say. I think it's on Prime. But it just brings me so much joy, and it is like one of my favorite scenes of the year.
Wow. That's that. You sold me.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to go with what I've seen. I'll go with Father Figure.
Yeah.
Father Figure was good. That one, me and
Dance It Out.
Kelly were looking at each other like,
we did like a watch party. We did a watch party for Baby Girl when we saw it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was.
We had people over and
that
we
was a
all
fun
watched
night.
it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly and I were like, "Are you serious right now?"
What a group watch.
I think that I'm going to go with Father Figure as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we're definitely going to watch My Old Ass because that looks.
And we love the tattoo
so
drop.
good.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I remember sitting next to Moran at the Vista when that song happened. Moran got so excited.
Yeah.
Pete.
No, I know.
She like perked right up in her seat.
I remember. She loves tattoo. There were no big like pop song needle drops in Challengers, right?
No, because it was almost.
It's all the score.
Well, there was that. You know what the really big needle drop in that is? That classical, like the choral boys song that's playing when she's like rewrapping her knee or whatever.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Yeah, that's it.
Good group.
All right. Yeah.
I only have 2 nominees for Best Action Scene. June Squibb and Thelma and Ryan Gosling in The Fall Guy. I would say The Fall Guy. I think that the most impressive scene is with Stephanie Shu.
Okay.
Where they're
they're driving.
When they're driving the truck.
The truck.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A movie built all around its stunts. But I think I gotta have to go with June Squibb for Thelma.
Yeah, I gotta go with June, and we could even add in the late Richard Roundtree.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. The scene where they're both on the scooters and they're like crashing into each other.
Yeah.
It's so. Yeah.
Yeah. Very
fun.
Mm-hmm. All right. So best movie in which Zendaya slaps somebody. Are you going to go with Challengers or Dune Part 2?
Ooh.
I love them both so much. Let me talk about, because this is a category where I think I put forth both nominees.
Yeah.
Challengers, when she slaps him and the cigarette flies out of his mouth, it's so good. And then in Dune Part 2, when she is like compelled to be a part of this prophecy that she was born to be a part of, but she never wanted to be. And then she, gives him the tears and the, just wow. And then he wakes up and then she just slaps the shit out of him.
That was good too.
2 really iconic slaps. So good. So
go with
I can't pick.
I'll go with Challengers.
I think Challengers.
Yeah, the visual of the cigarette flying out of his mouth was so good.
Yeah.
So we mentioned before, there's been a lot of monkeys in cinema
business
in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had to face all of them off, Robbie Williams in Better Man, Owen Teague as Noah in King of the Planet of the Apes, and You actually wrote down the main guard.
Yeah,
in
I
Wicked.
did some research.
I didn't know
History.
I didn't know that this character actually had a name.
Oh yeah, Chistery.
yeah.
He's got a name. He's in the story.
Chistery, the monkey guard.
Yeah.
Okay. Did they mention him by name?
Yes,
in the
he does.
musical.
In the musical,
Yeah.
but I don't know if they do in the movie.
I think Jeff Goldblum says.
Does he?
Yeah, I think he says it. Yeah.
Cool.
And Sherry as Dundas in Gladiator 2.
Oh.
Yes, Sherry is the name of the real life monkey.
Oh,
Is this Fred's monkey?
Yeah. No, it's the other monkey.
The other monkey. Yeah.
Oh no, well there were the baboons in Gladiator too, I guess.
Gosh.
But those baboons were scary, but also looked a little fakey.
Yeah.
Dundas and the little dress.
I might go with Dundas. I know Pete loved the Little Monkey Emperor.
Oh my god!
I got really excited when he named one of the monkey emperors that he was a senator.
Oh gosh!
But yeah, I'm probably going to go with that. Gladiator 2, that's your first win. So this is also a really fun one.
Okay.
That the Most Movies Award. So Alessandra Nivola.
The most movies.
An actor
Just the most.
That's been in a lot.
Just a lot.
So Alessandro was in Craven the Hunter, The Brutalist, The Room Next Door, and Wildcat.
Alessandro Nivola was in that many movies this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been working a lot.
He's working.
Wow.
They must be remodeling their house or something, him and Emily.
I guess.
He's got all those children.
Yeah.
With Sam,
I was going to say
Sam
one
on
of
White
them
Lotus.
is currently in White Lotus. Do they have multiple children? Do they have a lot?
I think they have 3. They have 2 that are like working actors. They're like child actors.
How about that? Okay. All right. Who's next?
Our boy, Fred Heschinger.
Oh, yeah. He's how do you say his last name? Hecklinger?
Heschinger, maybe?
Heschinger.
Hetchinger.
Oh, okay.
Heckinger, yeah.
He was in Gladiator 2, Craven the Hunter, Nickel Boys, and Thelma.
Yes.
Wow.
And you mentioned before we got on the call tonight, Nicholas Hoult, I think, should be nominated in this category.
Yes.
Solid 3.
Solid 3. Nosferatu, juror number 2 in the order. Yep. Probably made all 3 of those back to back. I think that he's done interviews that he finished up production on either Nosferatu or the order, and he went right to the set for juror number 2.
Yeah, because
he had no break.
Yeah, because Clint was interrupted by the strike, and they came back. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, is it Alessandro by default because he did make the most?
I think Fred is also 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
I'll go with Fred. I love Fred.
Fred's had a big year. I'd like to see Fred win.
Very
all
interesting.
4.
Yeah, very interesting. Nickel Boy's character.
Yeah. I didn't know he was in Nickel Boys until we were watching.
Yeah,
it
I didn't
last
either.
night.
And then we saw it, and then got to the end.
Yeah.
His scenes with June Squibb are so sweet.
Yeah, so
and
sweet.
Yes, he's very, very charming in Thelma.
And when he gets his little queer moment, which just basically means having a male
in Gladiator
at his legs or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that Fred is our winner of the
go with
category.
Fred.
Yeah.
Hottest age difference. This is the last category.
It was the year for it.
Hottest age difference romance. Anne Hathaway and Nicholas
Galtazine.
Galtazine and The Idea of You.
I love him so much.
Even with the bulk? Even with the He-Man bulk?
Even with the bulk, I'm so stressed out every time I see him because he's bulked so much.
It's
is it healthy?
Yeah.
I know he's been doing it gradually, but I'm so stressed out for him.
We just see the pictures now, and we're just like, whoa.
It's such a quick twink death. We're just like, you okay?
Yeah.
Please be okay.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's working with Christian Bale's people, and he'll be able to go back to a baseline kind of less buff look. All right, so Anne and Nicholas.
Harris and Nicole and Baby Girl.
All right.
Laura Dern and Liam Hemsworth for Lonely Planet. I have not seen Lonely Planet.
I did.
I watched it.
What a movie.
And Liam Hemsworth.
Nicole Kidman and Zac Efron for A Family Affair. I actually liked A Family Affair. I thought that was cute.
It was okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would also throw into this category Lily Rose Depp and Bill Skarsgård.
Sure.
Yep. Because he is a 400-year-old corpse.
Do we have any same sex? I can't think of it.
Yeah, I was thinking, queer.
Queer,
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't watch that one, so I wasn't sure what the...
We can add them in, too.
Yeah,
that's true,
okay. We watched the Nicole Kidman and the Anne Hathaway May December romances, and they were both charming.
Yeah.
I have to say the Nicole Kidman one looked more like a real movie than the Amazon Anne Hathaway one.
Which one, Baby Girl or Family Affair?
Family Affair.
Oh, yeah.
Are we talking Family Affair or are we talking Baby Girl? Did you say Zac Efron or did you say
both?
They're both on there.
They're both on there.
Yeah,
okay, they're both on there. I'm talking Family Affair. I'd watch it again.
Yeah, I think Anne and Nicholas Galtazine had a charming chemistry, but I guess
too.
I don't know.
I think I could go with both of them.
Anne
I
and
watched
Nicholas.
it twice.
Anne and Nicholas. Mm-hmm.
I'd watch it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even to clock the we're in Los Angeles.
We were obsessed with that.
I know, and it's like
we were
clearly
obsessed
Atlanta.
We were obsessed with that shot of sunset.
There's a shot of them walking away from
right.
the Vista green screen extravaganza. It's like when Pee Wee would jump into Magic Screen.
Yeah.
And sit in a chair and be like, I'm in a hot air balloon. It's like, okay.
I'd watch it again for those fake pop songs.
Also that. But no, I mean, I would just genuinely watch it again because it was cute.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I thought it was
Yeah.
fun.
I will say about Lonely Planet, I did give it 2.5 stars, and it is maybe one of my lowest ranked movies of the year, but I do think about it quite a bit.
Yeah,
so I think there was something about
there's
it. Yeah.
Weird charm to it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just Laura Dern's so good, and I like Liam Hemsworth too. I think they're both like pretty solid in it.
It's like one of these movies where it's fun mostly to watch for like the location.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like being,
and that's a Netflix original, right? Or Netflix
exclusive. Yeah, but it's on Netflix.
I
think so.
Okay.
Netflix, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess Liam Hemsworth is pretty young. Laura Dern, I don't know. She's just perpetually like 38 to me. I don't know.
She kind of has that Sheryl Crow.
But even in Jurassic Park, she was 38 to me when she
Yeah.
was 23. But now in her late 50s, she's still 38.
You're
like I don't know.
You're like, she's 38. She's the mom in Little Women, but she's still. Yeah.
That's another one where I'm like, okay.
It was a different time. They had children so young back
I know.
then.
She was 14 when she had Joe.
Yeah.
Leave her alone. Cut her some slack. But
that was fun.
Yeah.
So I think that Anne and Nick probably end up winning that category.
Sure.
All
Yeah.
right. That does it for the
empty mugs.
The
Empty
empty
mugs.
mugs. Mhm.
All right.
All right. To kind of cap off
First
the show,
annual.
it was interesting when I re-listened to this episode from last year of our Oscar predictions that we mentioned at the top of the show. There were a lot of movies that underperformed, that we talked a lot about Blitz being on the radar for this year. That movie went on to do nothing.
Right.
And I think that there were some other things that kind of came up empty-handed. Juror number 2, but that's a whole story with that release date. What are some movies coming up for the 2026 Oscars that we're already starting to think ahead about? We mentioned about Wicked for Good.
Yes.
Mhm.
I think that will be in the conversation.
That's going to be definitely in the conversation. Bong Joon-ho's movie is going to be out next week. So
It's too
Mickey
early.
17.
Too early.
I don't know if that's going to translate to Oscar.
My curiosity, I don't know if this enters, into the eventual what will come next year, but my curiosity coming off of Chalamet here, the whole Bruce Springsteen of it all with Jeremy Allen White. Curious about that, if it tracks, and also if this Michael Jackson
Deliver
movie
Me from Nowhere.
Deliver Me from Nowhere.
Yeah.
And also if this Michael Jackson movie gets released, I think this could be the stealth Coleman monster Oscar type of role.
Is Coleman playing Joseph?
He is.
Ooh, what a role.
Coleman is playing, he's getting nasty.
I mean, not that we haven't seen or don't know that Coleman can go there.
Oh, he's
but
great.
What a role. Okay, well, here's the thing. Will a complete unknown, if Timothy wins, or even if Timothy doesn't win, will it kind of do what Bohemian Rhapsody did to Taron, which was like, where people kind of we just gave
that. See, that's what my curiosity is about.
Yeah, so that's interesting
because you've just had that type of biopic.
Yeah, totally.
That Michael movie. It is probably
what was the title?
It is probably. I think it's just called Michael.
Oh, I think you said something else.
I mean, it's probably going to be a mess, but I will be there opening night because I really have to see this train wreck.
Nia Long, craziness.
So Paul Thomas Anderson has a movie that I believe has shot. Is in post production that is going to be out this summer. Just untitled Paul Thomas Anderson. There is one of the Frankenstein movies. This one is
Guillermo.
Del Toro.
Yeah, I think Guillermo will be there. I think we'll be looking at another Avatar.
Avatar: Fire and Ash. There's already a runtime on IMDb for Fire and Ash.
No.
3 hours.
192 minutes.
3 hour, 92 minutes. Just kidding. 3 hours and 12 minutes.
And Harper, I don't know if you've heard about this, but we will have another Bradley Cooper out this year. Is this thing on? Now he has a supporting role.
Is this thing on? Is
directing
the Paula Poundstone movie?
Co-writing with Will Arnett. I believe Laura Dern is in this.
Okay.
Is that you can check for me there, Harper? But I believe we will see this by the end of the year. Okay. Another Bradley.
Oh my goodness!
And
Sean Hayes.
Ooh, all right.
Andre Day.
Andre Day, and we know these people. They come Thursday.
Harper, do you know much about? Do you know much about Blue Moon? This Ethan Hawke movie?
Yeah. Of course I do. No, of course I do. Richard Linklater, Blue Moon. It's Ethan Hawke, Margaret Qualley.
Yeah. Bobby Cannavale.
Yeah. No, Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm going to be there open day.
Does this take place around when the Oklahoma musical opens?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. It is about Rodgers and Hammerstein working with Lorenz Hart on Oklahoma. Yeah.
Okay. And remember, we're getting another Knives Out mystery.
That's right.
Later this year, Wake Up Dead Man.
Which usually comes in for a screenplay.
Yeah.
There's someone fun in that, right? I can't remember who the cast is.
Josh Brolin, Andrew Scott, Mila Kunis, Glenn Close, Jeremy Renner, Josh O'Connor, Kerry Washington, Thomas Hayden Church.
Okay.
We can't let this night go by either without naming
Keely Spann,
a couple projects with Scott's boy.
Paul?
Because
Yes.
there are two History of Sound, Getting All Gay with Josh O'Connor.
Josh,
And we also have Hamnet, directed by Chloe Zhao,
which
Oscar winner.
He did that.
That's a
he did that
successful
on.
book.
He did that on the West End.
Yes, with Jesse Buckley, and he's playing Shakespeare. No,
I think so.
Yeah.
So,
I'm also
I
curious.
also just no.
I was just the other thing I was going to say is we do have another Timmy coming in A24's Marty Supreme, and we also have one that I'm curious about for my boy Andrew Garfield in After the Hunt with Julia Roberts, where he will be playing someone who might be a shady professor at a college with Iowa Debris and Julia Roberts.
Okay,
yeah, got my eyes on that. How about you, Harper?
Oh, yeah. Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. It's got to be said. I mean, are we going to be acknowledging Tom Cruise for his many, many, many years as Ethan Hunt, you know?
Or will they make him wait
well,
for that?
Tom Cruise is, I think, doing a movie with Alejandro Gonzalez in her too.
Yeah.
That they've been seen together hanging out. And I think that there's something that they're developing with each other.
So, or do they make him wait with something like that? Yeah. That's interesting. But yeah, we could...
There is also an Alex Garland movie called Warfare starring Joe Quinn, Noah Centineo, Will Poulter,
early in the year,
Charles Melton, and Kit Connor.
Wow. Yep, Kit's in it. Yeah.
That's April, I think.
Okay.
April. Yeah.
How are we not seeing any trailers for this?
So it kind of has that Civil War release date.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And then also Alex Garland, 28 Years Later, is coming out.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
I'm looking forward to
Is that going to be the trailer that you're going to see at AMC 50 more times?
I've already been doing it for literally
We've seen it a lot at the Alamo.
months. I've been like 8, 10, 5, 24,
yeah, like
and going mad.
That weird countdown. I'm like, what's happening?
Is Killian one of the zombies in that trailer?
I'm not sure. I have looked at it, and it could be. It looks like him. It looks like him from he's got the Peaky Blinders haircut, but I'm not sure.
Is Glenn Close going to come back for another Wake Up Dead Man?
Oh my gosh!
Moment.
They've never managed to get any of the performances.
None of them, right?
For those.
That is true. Who came closest? Janelle Monáe, maybe.
Maybe Janelle
she got some
Monáe.
noms. She got some noms.
I think that maybe even Daniel Craig in the first movie would have been top 10. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's wrap things up. Harper and Josh, thank you so much for joining us together. This has been a really fun conversation.
It was so great to join forces.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So much fun.
Any last thoughts about this year's Oscars? I mean, it's kind of fun to go in to Sunday, and there's a lot that is not really known.
Up in the air. Kind of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm pumped. I'm excited, and you guys are welcome to join my Oscar party if you are looking for a place to go on Sunday. But yeah, I'm excited.
Sounds like it's going to be a fun evening for all of us.
Yeah.
Are you in any Oscar pools at work, Scott?
Yes.
Or, yeah.
I have one that I pay for.
Okay. Work. Think you're going to win?
I've never really won. You got. Sometimes I like to be in the camp of you have to make bold choices to win those, and it has never paid off for me. I think that I am just caving and putting Zoe winning supporting.
Yeah.
I had Isabella winning this entire time, but I might have to.
You got to do it.
I think that ship has sailed.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see how that all pans out this weekend. But Harper, we will bid you adieu, a good night. We'll let you go. Josh, thank you so much for coming on, both of you. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, guys.
Until
right,
next
thank
time,
you.
next year. Bye, everybody.